Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and we are working on speech anxiety. And I'm talking to my mate, the singer-songwriter, better known as Noah Sam. Say hello, Noah.
Hello there.
And Noah and I had, this is our second session, I believe. We had a very good session a week or so ago. And at the beginning of that session, we talked and he stuttered severely for some time. He viewed it as a pressure situation, which many do, some don't, but many do. And so he stuttered up a storm. We then talked about the fact that stutterers, almost all stutterers, can sing without stuttering. And since Noah was and is a singer, it should come very naturally to him. So I said, why don't we try singing? So I sung to him and he sung to me, and we had a good time. And from then to the end of the session, he didn't stutter. And since then, he's come to a SAM meeting and talked, as I recall, without stuttering. And he wrote me an email. We've exchanged a number of emails, and he's given me progress reports. And I've commented every time that he's written me. I've written him back with suggestions. And I believe that, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong in just a second, I believe that he has been basically fluent since we had our first session till now, which is about a week. Is that roughly true?
Yes, I'd say that is roughly true.
Okay.
Actually, there was only one single bad incident yesterday. But otherwise, I was very fluent, even in some pressure situations. Like for example, I tried a phone call and it worked perfectly. And phone calls, I don't like them, as many stutterers probably do. And yeah, so yeah, the phone call worked great, and many other situations worked very well actually. And I find that my speech plan that is based upon singing works very well, even if you dial it down a bit. For example, right now it may not sound like singing, but I'm thinking singing, but
Yes,
it
you
comes out
are.
more as
And you're
modulation.
fluent. And frankly, you're barely singing. I mean, you're
Yeah,
singing enough that works.
yeah,
But if I didn't know you and we were just talking, I don't think I would think anything about your speech. I don't think I'd think anything about it. But the goal, the goal to be totally like everybody else is not really the goal. You're not like everybody else. Number one, you can sing better than 99% of the people on the planet.
thank you, thank you.
And number two, you look different. You wear your
Yeah,
hair
sure.
different, and all that stuff, and it all works for you. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks good for you, and that's great. You did tell me, you did write me about one bad incident you had,
Yes.
and so tell us about that. What happened there?
So actually, it was an incident that actually snuck up on me, I like to think. Well, after yesterday's, I'll just begin at the start. So I try to join as many practice sessions as I can, and I do. So I joined yesterday's practice session, and it worked very well. And the practice sessions, and by the way, don't seem to count for me as like high pressure situations,
Good,
um,
good.
which I think is
Because you're not going to care whether they're pressure or not before long.
yeah, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right.
you may not like the pressure,
Yeah,
but you will not stutter, and the
yeah,
pressure will get less every time you do it.
yeah, right. So basically, Um, in that practice session, I basically linked up with another rather new PWS, and he asked me if I would like to be kind of speech buddies on that journey to fluency. And yeah, I agreed, and I thought, yeah, why not? Sure,
Exactly.
it sounds like a great idea to kind of support each other and try to work on it together. So after the session, basically, we linked up and went on a call one-on-one. And for some reason, and even though he was also in the previous practice sessions where there was more people, in this session one-on-one with him, I started speaking and I got hit with a block that I did not expect. And after that, yeah,
Okay, listen.
yeah,
It will soon not matter whether
yeah,
you expect them or not. It's
yeah,
not all going to be the same. No, because your breathing is the same. You can breathe when you're under pressure, can't you? You breathe
yeah,
just as well under, well, maybe not quite as well. If you're under enough pressure, I guess you can pan a little. I guess anybody can. But basically, you're still breathing, and so you're surviving. And that's what you're going to do with your speech. And of course, you can eventually do what I do, and that is every time you're under pressure, you speak better. It's like you
yeah,
sing better on voice than you do in your shower because you're trying harder and you're alert and you're really into it and great. And you're going to do the same thing with your speech. So now tell us, what should you have done with this individual where you had the problem? How could you have handled this?
yeah. So basically, well, as soon as I noticed that a stutter was coming out, I should have just really stopped for a moment, which I did not. I tried to salvage it mid-sentence, which did not work.
Right.
So yeah, so first thing is I should have stopped, and well, actually, I should have talked less, which I did, but which I did talk less, but I didn't stop. So I was
Right.
kind of doing it, but not really as well as I could have.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you should have stopped and you should have taken a 2 count,
yeah.
1001, 1002, or even a 3 count, 1001, 1002, 1003. And then what should you have done?
Well, I should have tried to really stick to very short intervals. So 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5 words, whatever I would
Right.
need. So yeah, yeah, and
Very
and
short
well,
and longer increments, and maybe sing a little bit more, go a little bit more to a melody,
yes,
because
true, true,
that's better
too.
than stuttering.
Yeah, it
Say,
is.
well, I don't, I mean, you of all people shouldn't
Yeah,
mind singing. Most
right.
people that I coach, 9 out of 10 say, I don't sing, or I'm tone deaf or whatever. Most people tell me that. I'm not
Yeah,
kidding you. 9 out of 10 people tell me that. And I don't believe it's true, but they say that to me anyway. So, I mean, I used to sing in a choir, though most people can carry a tune, sort of. Anyway, so you should have stopped talking. You should have taken a 2 or a 3 count, and you should have started again, heavier singing, which would mean more guaranteed linking. And if you have to start off with a bit of a hum, oh, what I wanted to say is, fine, so what? Hum your way. Don't look. What you cannot do. What do you know you can't do that's not going to work for sure? What's that?
well, I definitely can't just try to force
That's
um
it.
force
You
through it.
can't
Yeah,
force the word. That digs the
would not
hole.
work.
You
Yes.
step in the hole, you are sucked into it.
Yeah.
You're in quick mud or quick sand or whatever. You're going down
Yeah.
uh, until you stop and start again with a clean slate. Stopping gives you a clean slate. Now I have a clean slate.
Yes.
Now I do. And you do too. And if the other guy has to wait, so what? If he starts talking, you don't care. You'll get the
Yes.
floor back. Don't worry. It's fine. You're in command here. Nothing can sneak up on you or
Yeah.
surprise you. Somebody, you're standing on a street corner, somebody taps you on the shoulder and says, "Where is the opera house?" Well, you're going to tell them, you know, you don't care. So, okay. So the golden thing is we don't force a word. We stop. We use shorter increments, longer stops, and more singing. Look, this is a game. You are winning the game already, but you
Yes,
haven't won it yet, but you are winning.
that's true.
And you're winning it fast. And you're having fun.
Oh, yes, I am, Lee. I am.
You're singing and you're smiling, and you look totally different when you're talking. Totally different. And we're very happy for that.
I am too.
And we're going to keep going and keep improving. Okay. Did I have you read to me last time we talked?
No, I don't think you did.
Okay, well let me pull something up. I'm gonna ask and I'll paste it in the chat here. Make it easy for you.
Let me find it. Oh, here it is. Here's the chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Read me that.
Reading aloud has become a true joy for me. I seize any excuse to do it, especially to read aloud to others. Perhaps I'm a thespian at heart. Regardless, I love doing it. And, no surprise, it continues to improve my speech. Because when we read aloud, we invariably hear our voice at its best. As we read aloud with feeling, we constantly improve our focus on our message and the positive emotions with which we deliver it.
Very well done.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I love that. That's very good. Post. Um, Try to constantly convince yourself that the greater the pressure, the better you feel.
Oh, yeah. Um, I actually think that I'm gonna convert that into an affirmation. Yeah, yeah.
Substitute it for the weakest one you got. You
Yeah,
don't want more than
I'll
10
do that. Yeah,
because you
sure.
need to finish in roughly 20 minutes. Okay, so
Sure.
all right, there's something else that I starts with most of us go through life that you can read. This is the psychiatrist's admonition, which is
Oh, yeah, that one.
the best words in my book. These are the best words in my book, in all my books about speech.
Most of us go through life knowing only half of ourselves. So, if we use only half of our abilities, we suffer because we are strangers to ourselves. We have free choice to accept or reject thoughts. Nothing compels us to think anything except our own desires.
I forgot, I didn't get the last paragraph. Here it is.
Oh, yeah, right. Use your mental switch to dictate your thoughts. Believe that you can improve and you will.
Do you believe that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I've never had anyone tell me they did, but it's so important.
Right.
This is so important because, look, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, I want you to be telling somebody else, a grandson or grandniece or a good friend or somebody else, what we're doing right here, telling them this and helping them understand that life is all between their ears. You heard what I said on Saturday about this, the art of living. Did you agree with that?
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, because that's really very, very important stuff. And that's the most important part of our program. All these things like singing and crutch four and modulation and whispering and blah, 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 blah. All of those are useful things to know, but long term, they're not necessary.
Yeah.
The only thing that's necessary is controlling our thinking. That's important. And that's very difficult to do. But it begins with discipline. And one of the hardest things to be is discipline. Get up at the same time every morning. Try to go to bed most of the time at the same time. Have a good diet. Don't eat a lot of crap. I mean, you can have some candy bars once in a while, but you can't be constantly eating stuff like that.
Sure.
So everything is about discipline. And the more disciplined we are, the better we feel, the better we function, and the better our lives are, the more helpful we are to other people and to ourselves, and everything works better. So this stuttering thing is a very good thing because you're going to convert this into a blessing. You're going to say, stuttering, I converted stuttering into a blessing in my life. I changed my whole life. I stopped the stuttering. I love to speak now. And in addition to that, I'm into a mind training program. I'm never going to quit it. I'm in charge of myself. If I'm unhappy, it's my fault. Nobody else's. Oh, I got fired or I didn't get this job or whatever. That's life. Everybody goes through that stuff. Someone I love died. Everybody goes through this. And so it's all about how we relate to events. And that's what we're in control of. So we have the free choice to accept or reject thoughts. And so nothing compels us to think anything. So we're in charge. Okay. So that's great. And well read. You read that quite well.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to put silent words in here, which is a very touching poem that was written by the uncle of a girl who stuttered and published on Stuttering Day of some years ago. And I just loved it. I mean, it doesn't apply to me. And I think as of this moment, I don't think it really applies to you. But it did a week ago or a month ago or 3 months ago. It certainly did. So, okay, so we can appreciate this.
Yeah.
So we go and we say Silent Words by Alan Pritchard. So read us that.
Okay. Behind the smiles, behind the tears, are silent words that no one hears. Conversations well thought out, but censored for my pain and doubt. So much of who is really me that most will never chance to see. From thoughts to words, there's compromise, and speech becomes an enterprise. Stuttering is not my choice. I really have a lovely voice, but words too often bond with dread, and then so much is left unsaid. I know quite well what I would say, though it may not always sound that way. If you judge me by my speech alone, the loss you face will be your own. There's much more to me than meets the ear. There's someone special living here.
Okay, extremely well done, but I caution you not to commit the crime of most people when they read and speak, and that is throwing away the last words of a line. There's someone special living here.
Ah, all right.
The tendency, everybody almost does that. But I have to tell you that the last words are often the punchline. And you and I cannot afford to throw any words away. They're all important. So don't let your voice trail off at the end. That's very well done. Are you reading aloud on a daily basis?
Yes, I am, at least 60 minutes.
Okay. And you're doing 2 mind training sessions a day?
Yes.
And during the day, when you get negative thinking about your speech or anything else, what do you do about it?
I usually, right after I get those thoughts, I try to basically visualize positive situations, basically, where I'm being fluent. Yeah.
And you say a positive affirmation that's contrary to, I mean, you may make one up at the time. It may be something
Yeah.
you've never thought of before. And how do you find that that is changing your life?
Well, it has definitely changed it already. I mean, I really see I see improvements every couple days, actually. So, and well, for a while now, I've been basically fluent in non-pressure situations, and now I'm seeing improvement in pressure situations too. Of course, very high pressure ones, I try to avoid for now, but like I'm building it up. Yeah, I'm climbing I'm climbing the ladder, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you were advising some other stutterers who knew nothing about our program or my books or whatever, what would you tell them at this point?
I'd say that the mind training part of the book is one of, if not the most important part of it, actually. And and I'd say one thing that's also like extremely critical is just to really try to reduce the blocks to zero. Even if that's something that's very uncommon, and uncommon to you. It was for me at first, because I have been stuttering for a long time, and that was something I had never heard from any other program, and I had never tried. And I think for me that was a key thing, actually,
And we
to
have a lot of
yeah.
things to do. We have a lot of ways of accomplishing that. In your case, we worked on singing, talking, and smiling. Where
Yeah.
the singer. Unknown caller. Hold on, let me see who this is. Hello. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Okay. I appreciate that. I would also tell you that I paid the cab driver $150 to go get it. So if you want to take that off the bill, that'd be nice. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Well, all right. All right. Thanks for the call, Malcolm. Take care. Okay. Thanks so much. Guy delivered wine to me to the wrong house. So, our methods, there may be other methods that work. We hope so. We just don't know what they are. But we know that our hearing fluency by reading aloud and listening to recordings of your voice when you're doing affirmations, and listening to your affirmations while you sleep. You haven't probably needed to do that, but some of the more severe cases, it's very, very helpful. And then, of course, the tools themselves, our crutches 1 through 12, and then our speech plans. These are all things we've learned from me and from you and people like you over a period of a decade, and which those tools enable us. Different people respond to different tools, and but they accomplish what you are accomplishing. That is, you're hearing fluency from your mouth basically all the time, and you're learning to enjoy that, of course, and you're making a game out of it. It is fun, and if you mess up once in a while, as I just did then, it doesn't matter. You forget about it, and you keep right on going, trying to be the best example for yourself that you can be. This is Noah versus Noah. That's what this game is, and Noah is going to win.
Yes.
And soon, we don't have a clock on you. There's no clock. It doesn't matter when. It's just going to be soon. So, okay. I don't have anything else today. You and I talk a lot we communicate a lot by emails. And if you say anything that concerns me, I fire an email back at you right away,
Yeah.
Getting on your case, because I want you to accomplish this as quickly and as painlessly as you can. And it's really important. So, all I can say, keep doing what you're doing, and we talk again in a week. Is that it? I'll see you at Sam, hopefully.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. And well, I think that we are up for next Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 1 p.m. your time. I will have a look at it and check back though. But
it is 1 p.m.
Yeah, right.
I'm looking at it.
Okay,
it's 1 p.m. my time.
Yeah.
And of course that's what, 6 o'clock your time or something?
Yes, that's 6 o'clock.
Okay. Well, I think we're staying the course. I don't think we have any reason to change anything at this time, but we have less and less tolerance for going off the cliff.
Yes.
We get more determined, and we're having more fun, and we will, what's the term you use when you lighten up on the singing? What did you call it?
Maybe I actually, well, I'm not sure.
You call it dialing back or dialing up.
Yeah.
And I like that expression. So you got to dial, and you dial whatever level you feel comfortable doing, and guess what? You're A-OK.
Yes,
In
I am.
the fluency world, you're A-OK. And so that dial that's your deal. And so I like that term. I wish I'd thought of it. And I'm gonna put it in my notes.
It very well could be that I thought of it because I kind of picture the dial on a guitar amp or something like that.
So basically, you will dial up or down as needed when you're singing. You'll keep the smiling going no matter what. And the greater the pressure, yes, the shorter the increments and the longer the stops. That's true. But
sounds great.
Longer stops.
Also,
And I can always say, and a bit less talking, but I don't really think, I don't really know that you need to do that. I'm not convinced you do. I
okay.
think when you're good enough on the dial, I think it's not going to matter to you how much you talk, frankly. But short increments and long stops will always help.
Yes. Well, one thing that I've noticed is that even though I may not always need it, in these situations where I do need it, I feel like it does help me to slow down a little and to
Sure. Okay. I think that's okay.
and definitely, one thing I could improve on definitely is I could be more conscious of the stops. That is definitely something that I could improve upon. Especially in those situations where I feel a little bit of pressure, and I'm like barely scraping by with the singing. Even though no one hears it, I can sometimes feel it. Then like on the edge. And in those situations, I think stops would put me well under the edge.
Okay. You have a habit that most people your age do, which is saying, inserting an or a like to hold the floor. I just did it then. Silence is your friend.
Yeah.
Try and teach yourself that silence is the next thing to eloquence. It really is. When you fill the space with garbage, the quality of your speech goes down. Forget stuttering. It's just the quality.
Yeah.
If you never stutter, the quality of your speech still goes down. Use silence as a tool. It's another method. Stops, longer stops.
Yes.
Don't fill them with garbage. Accept the silence. It's fine. Everyone enjoys it, especially you.
Yeah.
So, slower, shorter increments, longer stops, maybe less talking. But I think one thing I really like about what you're doing is I get the feeling anyway, that we hang up the Skype and you don't retreat. You keep going down the field and
Yes, I do.
with life like you never had a problem and doing what you got to do to avoid the problem.
Yes.
And that's what I like, because that's the way you're going to beat this faster. And when you make mistakes, don't get mad at yourself, just laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
And keep on going. You're funny, life's funny, you're going to win. So relax and have fun and just keep getting better. You know, you're the inchworm. You keep going, add an inch to an inch to an inch. Next thing you know, you've been 100 miles. That's the way life is. So you're proving it. All right. So I'll see you at Sam. I'll see you next week.
Yes,
Keep
great.
up the good work. And I can't think of anything else at the moment.
Yeah.
Peace.
Well, see you there.
Take care, mate.
Take care.
Bye-bye.